All right, you're welcome back to Remind. Now, before the break, I did say yes, we're going to come back to talk about more of Nigeria's problems. Yeah, I know it's not a politically correct thing to say, but sometimes you just need to say the truth as it is. And yes, we're going to be talking about the fuel scarcity situation. I know that it's a headache every single Nigerian can relate with at this very moment. And I have with me Kikiowo. Yes. There's so many Owos in your name. I think that's the problem. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I don't know. I don't know that you have the answers because it's been a very tough week for a lot of Nigerians. Especially towards the end of the week, things got really crazy. I don't know that the queues are realistic for a lot of people because people spend entire days now looking for 50 liters of fuel.
Yesterday
was pretty crazy. I don't know what the situation is. But the president is not in the country. He was helping us negotiate nuclear deals, and Nigerians are not very happy. What's going on?
Well, I don't understand. I think the right person to answer that question is the Minister of Petroleum,
which is Mr. President.
But it is not around. Like you mentioned earlier, yesterday was a big disaster for me.
Yeah.
I was at the filling station from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night. At the first filling station where I queued, when it got to around 3 p.m., the management of the filling station came out to say that they are no longer selling. They only had reserves, so we had to leave. And I got to the next filling station just around Ojota there and
started all over again.
Started all over again, and at the end of the day, I was unable to buy. I had to buy what's called black market, and at the rate of 250 naira just to be able to drive my car back home. And so yesterday was a huge disaster. And my own problem in this entire issue is that the solution they're going to be giving to us at the moment, say in the next 1 or 2 weeks, is not the solution I'm looking at. I'm looking at the long-term solution. Solution they'll be giving to us is to provide more fuel. But is that really the solution to this?
The long-term solution.
I mean, because all of our refineries are not working. Today we rely on fuel importation, and that must stop. And I've been saying it right before now. I've written several articles as regards this. We need to start refining our fuel locally. Issue is, since we've been refining in Nigeria, nobody has told us how much a liter of fuel costs. I know recently when the president came into power last year, the refineries picked up again before it went down. All of the products that was produced then, nobody told us how much a liter of PMS costs. So you can even be rest assured that if we start refining in Nigeria, we'll be able to meet our own local supplies at a very reduced rate and also export. I see no reason why we should be producing crude oil. And don't forget, when they refine this crude oil, they get up to 3,000 products out of it. Right. So we take out our crude oil, bring in petroleum at a very high rate. So
well, on the long term, at least we have heard that the Aliko Dangote is building a refinery that should be opening up in 2018. So, and we know from what we hear, the refinery is supposed to sustain most of our demands, coupled with other 4 rickety refineries and whatever else they can add to the production. So maybe that might be something to look at in long term. But between now and 2018, because this start stop scarcity has become, I can say pretty much since January this year we've had fuel scarcity. I don't know that we've had a stretch of 2 weeks where we've not had issues with fuel. It looked like it was getting good last week. This week it got bad again. So it's like, what is really happening? Are people not importing? Are they hoarding? What are you hearing? What do you think is happening?
The truth is, this thing is going to continue to 2019. And I have my reasons for saying that. As long as you don't look for a long-term solution to this problem, you're going to have importers who don't want to import because the government has fixed the price at 86 naira. 86.5. 86 naira 50 kobo. From other exporters. Then at NNPC, they start at 86 naira. The truth is, no businessman wants to go into such a market where that they're not going to be making maximum profit, from your import. That is one. 2, the government, I read on Punch today that the government has started paying subsidy because the landing cost of a liter of PMS now is now 92 naira. And so, for a while now, even other exporters have stopped importing. It's only the NNPC that import all the petroleum that we consume in Nigeria today. So as long as we don't look for the long-term solution, which is to invest in local refining of our product. This thing is going to continue to 2019. And you talked about Dangote's refinery. Have you read the deals? The details of the deal. Now, this dude says that he's going to be selling to us at international prices, meaning that by the time he's going to start refining for us to consume locally, he's not going to sell at the normal rate he ought to sell. He's going to sell at the rate.
Is that always a bad thing? Because people have also said, I mean, I was in the East last week, and I went through 2 states, Imo State and Anambra State, and I didn't see one single queue anywhere. Why? Because fuel was sold at between 120 and 160, depending on what filling station you went into. People have now said, as with the Naira, which has black market prices and unofficial rates, petroleum has started showing us that, this is actually what the market wants to sell it at. And until that happens, we're deceiving ourselves, which is also kind of what you said. If you go to all of these states where fuel is sold at different rates and is available, should we be looking at maybe deregulation finally?
No. Now, the reason you have those prices in those places is because they are buying at a lower rate. Don't forget, the NNPC is supplying all of these guys, this petrol. By the time they start importing themselves and we deregulate totally, you might be buying PMS at the rate of 250, 300 naira, thereabout. So I believe that we should deregulate, but we should put structures in place first. Don't forget the PIB is still in the National Assembly. It has not been passed and signed into law. So if all of those structures are not in place, we want to deregulate. What are we deregulating? We're just going to be killing our people. We're going to be killing the lower class.
Are we right? The Minister of State have been, as with most ministers in the government and even Mr. President, has put a bulk of the blame on the last administration, saying maybe some of the things they did, reasons why we're seeing what we're seeing today. Is that still a fair judgment? Because, I mean, it's roughly 10 months into the administration, and maybe some people believe certain things should not still be going on at this time. But at the same time, what takes 5 years to build can necessarily take 10 months to destroy or scatter, whatever it is. So is that still a fair thing to be saying? Are we judging too quickly?
Well, for me, I wouldn't want to toe that line, because we got this government in place. I'm still a loyal supporter of Mr. President, even though I don't agree with most of his policies, but I'm still a loyal supporter. And I don't think we should be putting the blame on the past government. We have elected this government, to do the right thing, and we expect them to put solutions in place. I think we should be looking at the future. We should be looking at the solutions to our problem. We shouldn't put blame on the past government. If there's any place they've been found wanting, if there's any probe you want to do, please, fine, conduct those probes and apportion blames to where you need to apportion blame. But I don't think we should really dwell on that. What we should dwell on now is the solutions to our problem. We should be thinking about the future and not the past.
I mean, I know you're very passionate about the long-term solutions, but as things are now, Nigerians want a quick fix, at least. For us to stop this queuing for now, at least, before we start talking long-term. What are some things we should be looking at, or the government? I mean, you've talked about the NNPC being the one importing and all of that. What should we be doing in the short to medium term, so that at least between now and maybe the end of the year, things are a little softer for us?
Yeah, I read this morning that the Department of Petroleum Regulation, which is responsible for giving import quotas to marketers, had actually approved for some private importers, to bring in so we'll be seeing more of those guys bring in their petroleum products, before the end of the year. And of course, the NNPC too. I think they are bringing in 44%, while the private investors are bringing in around 50% of for product that we need in this country. So with that, things should normalize a bit. But with government fixing price, the regulation is not around. I mean, we'll still be seeing these things occur until the solutions are put in place.
Finally, are you happy with the Minister of State for Petroleum? Are you happy with his activities so far as Minister?
What am I to judge? So far,
you're a Nigerian, you should.
Yes, I mean, so far he has not really impressed me, with the way he speaks in public. In fact, I think every one of them has not really impressed me. Those around Mr. President, to be precise, But truth is, I know he's a professional. He's doing his work, But talking about the PR angle, I think he has a lot of things to sort out in that area. Don't forget, recently he said that he's not a magician. You have the SSA to the president on foreign affairs, Abike Dabiri, telling a Nigerian on Twitter that nobody expects you to come back to Nigeria. And you know, a lot of these guys just keep saying stuff that we don't really expect them to say. When you think about these things, you don't necessarily have to say them out. And so I think in that aspect, they need to work on their public relations. But so far, I think he's doing a very good job in the industry.
Thank you very much, Ileo Okikiro. Thanks for being here today. And hopefully, when next we have you here, we would not have to tell stories of you looking for fuel before coming on the show. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
when we come back, I have a very, very interesting guest. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.